Hello and welcome to Realm's Edge Gaming. In this episode, I thought we could take a look at the character of Kragnos, who was recently revealed for being Book 4 of Broken Realms, and the narrative arc that's kind of following from Marathi, Teclis, Be'lakor, and then onto Book 4, which would be Kragnos himself. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the trailer. We won't necessarily watch it, but we'll talk about some of the slides. We'll think about what faction he could be for. I've got one kind of main idea what it could be, and I'd love to get your opinion too. So if you could drop a comment below and a like for the video, that would be amazing because I'd love to get your opinion on what you think of it. So first of all, when the trailer dropped on Saturday for the Faith and Damnation preview, I have to be honest, I said this on my initial reaction video, I was really surprised. I totally wasn't expecting it. I don't think anyone was. And it was really strange to have a character which wasn't really familiar. We all knew Marathi, we knew Teclis, Be'lakor. I didn't expect to have a kind of unknown character to be dropped. So that was a really big surprise to start off with. But thinking back to it, I suppose from the rumour engine, they already did tease a part of the model already, which is this. So you can kind of see shields of different kind of races interlinked along with charms on the outside as well. And then if you look on the left arm of Kragnos, he's carrying the shield and you can see the charms kind of dangling by the side as well. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to think about the setting of the video, because that might give us some clues as to the faction and maybe the kind of characteristics that the faction has. So it was kind of a dusty, arid, kind of dry, deserty setting. Now, just straight off the bat, I want to say that I know that the realms are so huge that even, so for example, let's just pick a realm, we've got Akshi, that there can be kind of deserts, that there can be rainforests, that there can be oceans, the whole kind of range of geographical features. But I still wanted to kind of take a guess as to what realm this character could kind of be from or be near or be associated with in some way, shape or form. So I think, in my opinion, the two most likely settings for this character is either going to be Gur or Guran. So we know that Gur is the realm of beasts. This is kind of a bestial looking character. And the rune for this the rune for this realm is the Arrow of the Hunt. This might play a little bit of symbolism later on, that's why I'm kind of mentioning it now. But we can talk about this as the video progresses. The other one is Garan, which is the realm of life, and their rune is the Coil of Life. So straight after they posted the video for Kragnos, Book 4, Broken Realms, and the kind of preview show had ended, I always head on to the Warhammer community webpage, just because sometimes, the show is quite fast-paced. They sometimes show a few more pictures, different angles, and sometimes the text kind of fills in the gaps for some of the presenters' talk. So they posted this. So they posted the video, and then underneath it directly they said, "We don't know about you, but we're not sticking around to find out who that was. Let's take refuge somewhere safe." Yes, we have the perfect place. So that got me thinking about safe places based on the realms that we kind of mentioned before. So in Gur, one of the safe places I imagine would be Excelsis, which would really tie in with the Broken Realms narrative arc so far. We know that Gordrak and Skragrot, along with the kind of destruction armies, are marching on Excelsis. So if this was set in Gur, and this character was from Gur, then it could mean that the kind of factions could converge at a specific point in the story. I suppose the other safe place for Gairan would be the Greywater Fastness, which is of course the cities of Sigmar kind of hold. And it, I guess, could potentially be there as well. But I'm not really sure how that would tie in. I guess it remains to be seen. So we've spoken a little bit about the setting, and we've said about where that could be. Let's talk about the faction that this character's from. So my kind of main guess is that this is a Kurnothi model, and I think will herald more Kurnothi figures. I think it will be an updated Sylvaneth battle tome combining Kurnothi, Sylvaneth, and Wanderers as well. And already we've had some Kurnothi models, so it's not been like a total initial kind of, this is the model, totally new. So when Beastgrave was announced for Warhammer Underworlds, the starter kit that you had was Beasts of Chaos, I should say, and Kurnothi in the form of Skaith's Wild Hunt. And it was set in Gur, the Beastgrave Mountain. So already that kind of ties in, with this character saying he was buried under the mountain. Well, maybe it was the mountain in Gur. I don't know how the Warhammer Underworlds storyline will play out, but maybe one of the factions does manage to kind of, destroy the mountain, or maybe it transpires that this character escapes from it. Who knows? We also had a new Kurnothi model in Cursed City. So it kind of got me thinking, like, why would Games Workshop be slowly producing a few kind of Kurnothi models here and there, and then it just to be like odd models? It seems a bit strange rather than investing in factions which we already have. I know from the kind of online community and through speaking with people, the Kurnothi models were really, really well received. There's quite a few videos online of people wanting them to be developed into a faction. Games Workshop, I'm sure, are listening, and if there's enough demand, who knows, maybe they've seen it there, and maybe they've started to create an entire faction to tie in with the Sylvaneth. In the Sylvaneth battle tome, it does mention Kurnoth, of course. We'll talk a bit more about him in a minute, and the Kurnothi as well. So, looking at the model for visual clues now, we said about the shield. Well, on Skaith's Wild Hunt's model there, on, I suppose, Skaith himself, you can see a shield, which links in there. We've got the cloven hooves, of course, together. The hair looks very, very similar, kind of flowing. And also on both of these models, you've kind of got the antler motif as well for the headgear, the helmet, which would visually link these models together. So those are the kind of clues that I was looking at, and that's why I think this could be a Kurnothi model. So who was Kurnoth? Well, and how does this actually link in with the Sylvaneth? Well, Kurnoth is actually one of the few gods worshipped by the Sylvaneth other than Alariel. He's the god of the hunt, wilderness and hunger, and is very, very much the darker, more aggressive side of the Sylvaneth. He's known by names such as the Huntsman, the Old Stag of the Woods, and the Stag King. And as you can see from the model, it's very much kind of stag-like. So it kind of does link together in that way too, and has also appeared in the form of a large stag. Now, already in the Sylvaneth battle tome, we've got Kurnoth hunters, which are embodiments of his wrath. Alariel also carries, I think, a spear, which is called, is it Kurnoth? Or Kurnoth, the spear is named after him. So there are a lot of kind of narrative nods already in the lore. We've also got the kind of storyline with the Wanderers, kind of being exiled, and there being that kind of rift between the kind of faction at the moment. But it got me thinking about the Broken Realms stories and the books that are coming out. We've got two more upcoming. We've got Teclis and Be'lakor, and then Kragnos. Perhaps these two books might set up events for Broken Realms Kragnos, and also set up the return of the Wanderers and the Kurnothi. And it made me kind of think, if you think that too, which one do you think they will appear in? Will it be Teclis or Be'lakor? Or do you think it's totally off the wrong mark here? I'd love to get your opinion on it too. So we've spoke quite a lot about Gur and why I thought it could be set there. And I did mention to you before that the other place I thought it could be set was Guran. And the reason behind this is mainly because of a story by Josh Reynolds, which is called Dark Harvest. which is set in a village called Wold in the Ghoul Mere. And the story tells of how there's the old stag which hunts and was worshipped throughout Garan, the realm of life, before Alariel. So when she tamed the Jade Kingdoms back in the Age of Myth, and when she was awoken, she flayed the old stag, pulled out his heart and planted it like a seed, from which grew Kurnoth. Alariel then buried the rest of the body in the swamps around Wold to bind him and put him to sleep. So some people of the realm of life, Garan, still follow him, and the citizens of Wold hold an annual 3-day harvest festival in honour of the harvest and the hunt as personified by Alariel and Kurnoth, in which they perform human sacrifices to try and wake Kurnoth. A shard of Kurnoth has actually been woken from the ritual and hunts in the swamps of the Gulmere, but by self-admission has not yet achieved the power level of a true god. Now, obviously we've got the talk of the stag, the realm of life. It does link up with Alariel. It says that the body was buried in swamps though, but from the video we know that it was under a mountain. I'm not really too sure how that would link, unless it more is towards the, I know the books don't often kind of have the lore as such, but, has kind of hints and twists, and, it can be changed by different authors, such as, we in one of the Stormcast ones it mentions Cetrus, and everyone kind of thought Cetra, Stormcast Eternal, but, it could be a feature there. But I would love to get your opinion on the whole Kragnos Book 4 Broken Realms story. Why do you think Kragnos will be important to the Broken Realms narrative arc? So what part do you think he will play in the story? Also, in Book 4, what factions do you think we will see? How will they link in with the kind of plot? Do you think we'll get any new models for the factions? Do you think we will see a whole new Kurnothi force linked in with the Sylvaneth, with a new battle tome, and the Wanderers too? And looking towards the kind of progression of the narrative arc, what character do you think Broken Realms Book 5 will focus on? Thank you very much for joining me as we talk about the character. As always, please drop your comments, and if you could leave a like below, that would be brilliant. It's been great speaking with you all, and I'm looking forward to talking with you in the comments below. Thanks very much, and we'll speak soon. Bye.